Hey everyone, welcome back. So now it's time today to take a look at the new Nintendo Switch games hitting the eShop this week. Now, I'll be totally honest, it's still a pretty quiet time on the eShop. It's normal, the holidays have just passed, and most of the big releases haven't kicked off yet. So, it is a perfect time to work on your backlog if you do have one. However, if you currently don't have said backlog, or if you're really aching for a new game, I do still think there are three games coming out this week that are of definite note. And we're going to take a look at those games today. Now, to start things off for this week, we have Ys Memoire, The Oath in Felghana. Now, this game should already be out as you're watching the video because it was releasing on January 7th. It's going to be selling on the eShop for $29.99. However, I do want to mention there is apparently a physical release as well. I'm actually going to try to pick up a copy myself. So if you are a physical collector, this one should be available and it is a simultaneous release. So that is actually a pretty good sign. Now, if you're unaware, the Ys series is a very long-running action JRPG series. Pretty much all the games are great in the series. This is actually a remaster of an earlier game in the series, but even the remaster of Ys Origins played excellent on the Switch. I recommend it all the time during eShop deals. So I do think that this game is going to definitely scratch that action JRPG itch if you can put up with the slightly older graphic style. Now let's take a look at the trailer and we'll be obviously talking about the game afterwards as well.
Do you know the name Adol Christin?
Yeah, it's true. This is the game that actually introduced the character Adol Christin.
Adol Christin.
Well, Adol, here we are. This is Felghana.
I'm pretty sure it's the game that introduced it.
I was hoping we'd get here a little earlier in the day, but I wasn't expecting the waters to be so rough. Still, this place does bring back memories. Hard to believe it's really been 8 years since I left.
Profited from the remasters. Like
You're a traveler, aren't you?
On the games actually really helped.
Are you hurt at all? My name is Elena. It's nice to meet you. And again, thank you very much for your help.
Excellent, excellent. Once I possess what I seek, my might and majesty will be known far and wide. This certainly should be an enjoyable undertaking, wouldn't you agree?
Here we go, now we see the action, and you guys can see what the series is actually.
An adventurer, eh? Well, that's certainly a rarity. But from the looks of that sword on your belt, I can tell you're no amateur. I imagine he hopes to get his hands on my statue.
Honestly, I find this really good graphics.
Well,
Like I
seems
said,
these
it really
ruins have a
does
little
nice
rat
use of the
problem.
No chance!
I would have you show me your abilities, red-haired swordsman.
So yeah, we've got the game looking really good. Like I said, if you are an action JRPG fan, I do think this is going to be a definite pickup. At $29.99, it's also a pretty fair price for a remaster. Like we're used to seeing remasters almost hit that $60 mark. It hitting at that $30 really means that they're going for, I would say, a fair price for this type of remaster. Obviously, you might want to wait for a sale if $30 is a little bit tight in the budget right now. But I still think that if we're looking at $30 games, this is one of the ones that can definitely be worth it. So very excited. January 7th, we're getting a brand new entry in the Ys series hitting the Switch. Not a brand new entry, but a brand new entry for the Switch. Now, for our second game for today, this is a brand new franchise. It is called Boti Byteland Overclocked. This game is going to be hitting the eShop on January 10th, so you do still have a couple of days. It'll be selling for $19.99 for the regular version or $24.99 for the deluxe. That comes with an art book and a few other extras on the side. Now, if you're really interested in this game, by the way, we will be streaming it tomorrow, January 8th on the channel. So I did get a release code for the game. We're going to be streaming it a little bit early on the channel, so you can always get an idea if this is something you might want to pick up. But it is a 3D platformer that can also be played in co-op, which is actually a really interesting concept. And as you can see, I do see a very heavily like Astro Bot influence. We know we're going to get a ton of those games this year. Like Astrobot won Game of the Year. You know, a lot of companies are going to be throwing their hat in the ring, trying to reproduce that magic. So let's take a look at the trailer. I do think this one, you know, if it turns out to play well, could be one of those games that could be a decent experience. And at the budget price point, it can actually be a pretty nice, interesting game for this week. So let's take a look at the trailer. Like I said, we'll talk a little bit more about it after. By the way, if any of the trailers get muted in afterwards when the video goes live, that's simply for copyright.
Hey, look who it is! A new bot! I knew it!
For this one, rather than building a PS5, we're exploring the innards of our PC apparently.
Yeah, slam it!
Like, I think you guys can see the heavy influence, like, the Astrobot.
Here they come!
Here.
You can take them!
Which is not a bad thing.
Nice work, Body!
You know, done with quality way, it can be a nice concept to see expanded.
Yeah, let's go! Like I said, the co-op concept actually seems really interesting. I won't be able to test that out on stream since I'm playing alone, but it seems like a very interesting concept. So as you can see, I do think this game has a ton of potential. Obviously, we're going to wait till tomorrow. We're going to find out if this game is actually good or not. So, you know, tune in if you want to see it. But I do think if we're looking at 3D platformers, this one can have a lot of positive things about it. Like, the graphical style looks really interesting. Obviously, like I said, Astrobot inspired, but the levels also seem pretty varied and pretty interesting as well. I am worried a bit about the performance on the Switch, but we'll figure that out, like I said, when we try out the game. It might be one of those games that you might have to pick up on another console if you do have it, if ever there are performance issues on the Switch. But like I said, keep our eyes out, and for $20, it's a fair price for this kind of game. I'm not expecting the polish that we got from Sony, but it nonetheless, if it's done well enough, with good quality, can be a really nice pickup for this week. Now, our final game for this week is another remaster, and that is Freedom Wars Remastered, also hitting the eShop on January 10th. This one will be selling for $39.99 for the regular version, or the Contribution Edition that will be selling for $49.99. So it is a little bit pricier for this week. But this is basically a remaster of a game that actually was originally released on the PS Vita. And it almost looks like a sort of Monster Hunter concept, but with robots. And it comes to us from Bandai Namco, so it's one of the ports of the games. I heard a lot of people really excited about the port of this game because it was sort of locked to the Vita, which is a system that, you know, nowadays has sort of passed its prime. So I do know a lot of people are really excited. It is hitting all consoles
On the Switch, by the way, it will be locked to 1080p and 30 FPS, while on most of the other platforms, you'll be able to get up to 60 FPS. So that is something to note for this game, but nonetheless, I do think it's a super interesting concept, and I might dip my hat in the ring with this game, but I want to see its reception first of all. So let's take a look at the trailer, and then, like I said, as usual, we'll discuss it a bit more.
Peggy 16.
Hello everyone, it feels good to be back. I am Percy Propa, an ultra-high-performance multi-purpose agent from the penal city-states known as Panopticons. I've come here today to tell all you sinners in need of re-education about Freedom Wars Remastered, which is coming out on January 10th. Freedom Wars takes place in a distant future, where the world of us resources have been exhausted. As a sinner convicted since birth for the crime of living, you only have one mission, contributing to your panopticon. All sinners must volunteer in dangerous operations to obtain resources for their own panopticons.
What I mean is, like, you basically...
There are different types of operations. Rescuing citizens, taking down massive abductors, capturing control systems. Work together with your team to give your best effort to contribute to your panopticon. Panopticons are rapidly introducing new technologies to improve the daily lives of all sinners. Let's take a look at some of the features. Enhanced graphics. The remastered version comes with enhanced graphics. The resolution of textures and cutscenes has been greatly improved. In addition, the action is smoother due to the improved frame rate. Battles. The design of the battles has been improved, making it easier to play the game while also adding new features such as increased movement speed and the ability to cancel actions with your thorns, taking the high-speed action to a whole new level. The controls have also been renewed and come with a new customization feature that lets you personalize them, so you can now use your favorite settings to be more productive for your panopticon. Weapon crafting, upgrading system. Upgrade your favorite weapons freely. The modules to upgrade weapons are now separate items that can be attached or detached at will. There's also a new module synthesis mechanic to upgrade your modules. Asking help from the citizens you save will increase your chances of succeeding, so keep rescuing more honorable citizens as you continue developing your own battle style.
So pretty
Online multiplayer. Alongside the co-op mode, which allows you to take on various operations with your friends, we've also added casual matches and a feature to customize battle rules, making it easier to enjoy the online versus mode.
Especially considering how much the game
Deadly
plays differently
Sinner
on the
mode.
different systems. Like 60
We've got
FPS
good
versus
news for
30
those who
is
want to make
different.
up for their sins in a harsher environment and contribute more to their panopticon. Introducing the new Deadly Sinner high difficulty mode. In the Deadly Sinner mode, the years of sentence received for committing a penalty during volunteer missions are increased, allowing sinners to experience a harder challenge. Customization. The remastered version will also come with many customizations which were distributed as additional contents in the original game. The voices for the accessories have also been renewed, offering a total of 8 different types to choose from.
Abductor detected.
Abductor detected.
Also, you can now listen to the songs from our beloved propaganda idols in the game.
So it's nice to see it's not
Customize
just a
and create
straight
your
force,
own
like
unique
they
style
actually
as
seem
a
to put
sinner.
a lot of time and energy into making this like feel like worth
There
a
are
second
many more
pickup, even for those
adjustments
who
and
maybe
changes
play it at the
besides
end of the
these
year.
ones, which are sure to help all the sinners out there to step up their contributions. Freedom Wars Remastered will be released on January.
Honestly, super interested in this one. I watched the trailer a little bit earlier, and I don't know. The second time it just hit even harder. Looks like a really, really interesting concept. There might be a big time investment here, however, so I will look into that. But I think if you're looking for that kind of online game to play with friends, and like I said, I'm getting like Monster Hunter vibes for it, but like with a more futuristic, like, battling robots, the robot type thing vibe from it. But definitely a game that I'm excited to see the reception on the Nintendo Switch and maybe pick up. I mean, $40 is on the more expensive side, however, for this week. So I would maybe wait for the reception, see what the performance is like on the Switch, and then, decide if I'm dropping the cash or not, or maybe wait for a future sale or whatnot. So that's pretty much it for our games on the Nintendo Switch for this week. Like I said, it is still a quieter week. There are more games than this coming out, but these are really the games that stood out to me and I think are worth looking into for this week. In a couple of weeks, things are going to be picking up. We're going to have way more games releasing, more indie titles, more varied titles, but it's still actually a pretty interesting week for like the second week of January. There's actually to have 3 games of note and that are actually possibly of higher quality is still nonetheless a really good week for this time of year. So let me know in the comments down below if you think you're going to be picking up any of these games. Let me know if there's any that maybe are coming out that you think I missed out on. And as usual, don't forget to hit that like button, and I hope I'll see you in my next video.